Did you see the Lake of the Ozarks Board of Aldermen had I guess you'd call surprise or unexpected meeting on Monday?
I did. I heard about that. Had to do with the gambling situation, right? The casino situation.
Yeah, and so when I saw that, obviously in Lake Ozark, I immediately thought of the Osage Nation Casino,
Right, yeah.
which was not the case. Believe it or not, according to the KRMS news article that came out Sunday night, a special meeting of the Lake of the Ozarks Board of Aldermen took place Monday, as we changed a couple of words now in past tense, but to focus on the possibility of a casino boat gambling boat being located within the city limits, but it would have to be a gambling boat on the water. Now, the meeting considered one published item, and it was a resolution in support of the Senate Joint Resolution currently making its way through this year's Missouri's General Assembly. As written, the resolution calls for voters in November of 24 to decide the issue of the state authorizing one additional casino license for a boat to be located along the Osage River between the Missouri River and Bagnell Dam. Now, currently, the Senate Judiciary Resolution has been read twice and since referred to the Emerging Issues Committee for a hearing to take place Tuesday, which was, the day we recorded. Now, at Monday, the special Board of Aldermen meeting to support the issue, Harrison Fry, the city administrator, told me the Board of Aldermen unanimously passed that vow of support, and so I asked him, I said, so what exactly does that mean that they voted unanimously to pass a resolution of support so they could deliver to the Senate Emerging Issues Committee during Tuesday's meeting?
Yeah.
And so I said, what does that mean? He said, well, I want to make clear this is unrelated to the Osage Nation and relates to the amendment on gaming laws in Missouri. Next step would be, as the Senate committee reviews this, the resolution approved by our Board of Aldermen will be presented as an item of support for its passage. If the committee sees fit, it will then go to the Senate General for approval. If successful, then the Missouri House will go through another process very similar, and if all steps move forward through the state Congress, it'll ultimately be a ballot issue for the voters of Missouri in November of 24 to determine whether or not to allow a licensed casino to operate on the Osage River, again, between Missouri River and the Bagnell Dam. So they did vote to pass it because they feel, according to Fry, that it could have an impact on our area long term, and they think it's appropriate for the decision to be in the hands of all Missourians. So this is not an issue that's going to be handled just by the voters here. This would go on the general ballot in November of 24 next year for the state to decide, will we allow a 13th or 14th casino, which would be on the water. Now, you also could have the Osage Nation, which is a different, meaning we could have two casinos in the next handful of years. And the Board of Aldermen in Lake Ozark unanimously voted to offer this support. And so I'll be interested to see some of the community's feedback and, what they feel as they see this news broke.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And again, this is completely separate from the Osage Indian Nation Casino, which is moving along, progressing according to their plan. They've got to go through different channels to get theirs done, but of course they've already purchased the land and they're already providing money to local charities and whatnot, as that thing moves along. So we could have two casinos coming to the area because we know where the Indian Nation Casino would be, right across the street from Menards, basically in that part of Lake Ozark. This one would be on the water, below the dam and before the Missouri River, between the Bagnell Dam and Jeff City somewhere, which would be very interesting. Do you think the area can only handle one casino, or do you think the area could handle two casinos?
I don't know how to answer that. I feel like if it's a riverboat gambling casino, it's going to be much smaller in scale when you look at something like the Osage Nation proposed development. But if you can handle one, I don't see why you couldn't handle two. And also when you look at between Bagnell Dam on the Osage River adjacent to Missouri River, there's a lot of area between there and Jefferson City that leaves it open. It may not be right on the lake or right next to the dam, and so it could be,
could be closer
away
to Jeff City than it is to Lake Ozark, quite possibly.
But I will say, if you could handle it, the area which I believe it could, can support and handle a large casino project, there's no reason to believe that we couldn't handle a smaller river boat project.
I agree 100%. I think, if there's two casinos, they'll both do very well around here. So I don't think that's an issue at all. And I think there's a decent chance that both of these casinos will end up getting done.
When you say that, yeah, I was going to say, be careful. In my younger days, I loved to go to the casino. I've grown out of that with the closest one being an hour and a half away, but I'm sitting here thinking, with a couple of this close, I might be wondering what's going on here.
Yeah. See, and I never had that issue. I like my money too much just to give it away, So I've never been a gambler, so I don't really get that. But but people come here to have a good time. This is one of the vacation spots in the whole country. I think the casinos would do just fine.
What's more fun than leveraging your home and all of your savings and maxing out credit cards? It's like, are we having fun yet?
Oh man, no.
I don't think that casinos are fun, and I'll tell you, they don't exist to lose money. I promise you that.
Yeah, the house always wins.
That's true. You know who wrote the book? The house.
Yeah, there you go.
Everyone always tells you to play by the book, and I'm like, wait, that sounds backwards. The house wrote the book, and the house always wins.